One. The phantom of the process. When will Joel Embiid be back? How far can the Sixers actually go? They've got the second best record in the NBA since Christmas. So who the hell knows? NBA Finals, here they come. Dave Rzinski and Kyle Gaffner are both here. I am Adrian Fedke. It's our 2018 Sixers playoff preview. They're back in the playoffs, baby.
Finally, 6 years. No more waiting. We don't have to look and reminisce about last night and look forward to the draft anymore or the lottery. Playoff basketball is upon us, guys, and I'm stoked. I'm even more stoked than when AI team went back in 2001. This team can really do some damage. We have the potential to possibly go and win the whole thing.
52 wins, 16 in a row. There's something about 16. It's a magic number. Halfway there, we went faux, in the words of Moses Malone. Faux more. And we're ending. You know what? At this rate, I honestly think they may never lose again.
Who the hell knows, man? 16 in a row. Now, I get it. Okay, so 3 of the opponents during the 16-game winning streak, only 3 of them were playoff teams. But when you watch this team, they are eviscerating the competition. It's not like they're playing one-possession games against the Nuggets or whoever the hell else was on their slate. They're blowing these teams out. We saw it again last night. It was like 80-1 at halftime. They're blowing everyone out. It's impressive. It really is.
I had to ask myself last night, are the Bucks purposely tanking so they don't have to face us in the first round? Because if they won, they would have got us. But then I thought, no, there's no way they were doing that because there was a risk because they could have fell potentially all the way back to the 8th seed. And obviously they don't want to play Toronto. So we are just crushing people. We're out coaching people. We have more depth than everybody else. Brett Brown could go 5 in, 5 out, and we could be completely confident that we're not going to miss a step. And these past few weeks have really just shown how Ben Simmons is truly the MVP of this team. Not taking anything away from Embiid. Obviously, he's a monster, but Ben Simmons is really the glue that keeps this team better. And he's doing everything that we drafted him for. Every time he's on the court, he makes everybody around him completely better. I just remember in Summer League 2 years ago, he had some guys on the Summer League squad averaging 19 points a game. And the guys that never made the NBA. So now he's in here, he's in the NBA. He's doing what we thought he could do, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he really is. And I thought it was great when Embiid went out. It was like a panic button happened. Like, who's going to take over this team? Who's going to be able to shut it down in the fourth quarter, be that leader? And Simmons has stepped up. That was a big question coming out of college. Is he going to be able to, take on that leadership role and lead a team to victory? And look what he's done, not only with his passing, but he's had enough aggression to go in and score a ton of points too. And I think we got to give a lot of credit to this bench because when the starters would go out, the huge leads would dissipate. They would just evaporate, and the other teams would get back into it. But I think it proves over this winning streak that the bench has gotten better, and you didn't really have to worry about that because of the active hands, because of the great defense that we've had. And how about Markelle Fultz, guys? I mean, can we see why he was the number 1 overall pick? I'm very impressed with what I've seen. He missed 68 games. Doesn't look like he really missed that much.
Yeah, we'll kind of get into all that in a bit. We'll get into Fultz. We'll get into the bench. I do want to kind of start with the phantom of the process, masked Joel Embiid. So he's kind of met with reporters the other day. He said that he's probably not going to play Game 1. Unlikely, I think, was the word used. And the other thing he kind of talked about, he's wearing this black mask. But apparently black or dark masks are banned by the NBA for whatever reason. You got to wear a clear mask. And he's trying to get this black mask passed by the NBA because he says when he uses the clear mask that it can get foggy and it's hard to see out of it. So I'm curious to see what kind of happens with that. And if he does have to wear a clear mask, is he going to be back to being the old Joel Embiid that we know?
Well, I know the last time a player was allowed to wear a black mask, LeBron did it for a few games. But then,
well, of course they allow LeBron to wear one.
But then actually, the reason I don't think they're going to let Embiid do it is because they then told LeBron he couldn't. And if LeBron's not allowed to do it, no one's going to be allowed to do it. Yeah. I will say this, though. Did you guys see any of those reports today, which actually turned out to be probably false, that Meek Mill was potentially being released from prison on Monday?
No, I didn't see that.
Now
there was like a rumor that
not getting released.
Yeah, so there was a rumor that caught wind really fast that he was going to be released on Monday. His lawyer has since said basically there's a meeting on Monday. Yeah. His lawyer has since said that's unlikely, but Game 2 is on Monday, and all I know is this: if Meek Mill somehow gets released from prison, Joel Embiid is 100% going to come back for Game 2, and they're going to do the starting lineups. Starting lineup: Joel Embiid is going to sprint out in a black mask and a cape. Meek Mill is going to be beside him on a four-wheeler. TJ Ghost is going to be blasting Dreams and Nightmares, the intro, and the Wells Fargo Center is going to register an earthquake, and the 76ers are going to shut out the Miami Heat. They will not score a point. If Meek Mill is released, Embiid comes back. That will be the only moment that has ever maybe topped the Eagles coming out to the Super Bowl to Dreams and Nightmares. I got chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
Well, they have been visiting Meek Mills. I know him, Simmons, and Markelle Fultz went to go visit him. And he's been a team. He's a season ticket holder. He really gets him amp up. Maybe he rings the bell. I mean, look what magic Dougie Peterson brought to the Sixers last night. This was a huge game, and he came out and gave them all that magic that they needed to do to blow them out by, 35, I think it was? We were up at 41 at some point. But if Meek Mills can somehow get released, wouldn't that be awesome if he just led us straight to the finals and then just they used him as just like put him on his pedestal to win it for Meek Mills? He gets released and then we win him a championship.
Yeah, because he had to witness Super Bowl 52 from jail, so we want to get him this championship live and in person. Get him out there. All right, now it's pretty important that Embiid comes back because as we know, Heat led by Hassan Whiteside. Going to be a really, really difficult matchup for the Sixers if Embiid can't go. So the sooner he gets back, the better. At least these first two games are at Wells Fargo Center, where the Sixers are 30-11 this season. And Dave told me before the show they've only lost one game there since Christmas. That's remarkable. So we'll see just how much the home crowd can really fuel this team. And got to get Embiid back. I'm hoping by Game 3. So you get him back in Game 3. You go 2-0 to Miami. You get him back against Whiteside, and hopefully close out the series a little bit after that.
Yeah, it's going to be huge for him to come back. But do you think this is just some strategy to throw the Heat off? Or do you really think Embiid's not going to be able to play Game 1? Or do you think it's to throw it off?
I can see him not being ready for Game 1 because you can still see, like, the swelling around his eyes and all that stuff. So I can see him not playing. I don't think he would, like, lie on purpose like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The way I look at it is I don't see them losing a home playoff game against the Heat regardless of if Embiid returns or not.
Yeah.
Now, if for some reason – so I don't think he's going to play Game 1, but if for every reason that they somehow lose Game 1, I would say he will 100% be back for Game 2. But I think their whole strategy is go into the first two home games, don't play them if they don't need to. I think they win regardless. Just, again, man, they don't lose at home. They got this. They're up such an adrenaline rush. They're the hottest team in sports right now. So figure that happens, and then regardless of what happens in Miami, whether we sweep them, split them, or even lose both, any scenario, I say he's back for Game 5.
Yeah. All right, so let's kind of talk about this contrast of styles between the Sixers and Heat. Sixers, they like to get out in the open floor really, really fast, play with a lot of pace. According to the stats, fourth highest pace in the NBA, and since Embiid's been out, they've been even playing even faster. So fast squad of the Sixers against the kind of grinded out, slow, methodical Heat. Now, some people think that the Heat might be able to give the Sixers some problems, but here's the thing about that. The Sixers, they thrive on the defensive end. And, all right, great. If you want to play slow on the offensive end, all right, fine. But if the Sixers are getting stops, that's what's going to let them get out and run in the open floor. So they've got a lot of depth, a lot of versatility, a lot of kind of no-name guys, but they've got 9 guys that average double figures in scoring. But if the Sixers get the defensive stops in the half court, that's what's going to help them win the series. That's what's going to help them get out in transition and do what Ben Simmons likes to do, gallop like a thoroughbred, find open teammates for layups.
Good, Dave.
Well, what scares me the most is Eric Spoelstra is probably a top 3 coach in the NBA. So they're going to be prepared. They're going to have a game plan.
Sure.
One thing that hasn't been probably happening over this 16-game win streak is there haven't been many coaches or teams coming in with a game plan. Also, Dwayne Wade being back on that team makes a huge difference, especially in a playoff run. He's just like having another coach on the floor. He's been there so many times. So they're going to be ready to stop. They're going to have a game plan. So I'm more concerned about Spoelstra's coaching than I am specifically about like Hassan Whiteside without having Embiid.
Yeah, because you look at that, there's not any names that jump off the page at you at that squad right now other than D. Wade, but he's a little bit older now. But I think Spoelstra, like you said, is a great defensive mind. He's definitely a top 5 coach in the NBA. And look what he's done ever since the big 3 left there. They've been a solid squad. They haven't really been terrible. I think they've only been in the top 10 when they got Justice Winslow, and they've been making playoff push. They got Goran Dragic. But this team is going to be here to play. I don't think it's going to be an easy team to beat. I don't think we'll sweep them. The 4 games that we have played, they've all been close, within, I think, 7 points.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to run and gun because they don't have enough firepower on their team to come back. Like we shut out the Bucks last night. They have a little bit better offensive team. But Miami, if we get up big, I don't think they're going to be able to come back.
Yeah,
season
series was 2-2, but I don't think they've played since February. That was when Dwayne Wade scored like 15 in the last 17 points, and him coming back to South Beach, that gives them the closer that they need because they really don't have one. That's not Dwayne Wade. So that's where I look at there. The other thing I look at is who the hell is going to stop Ben Simmons? Who's going to guard him? Now, they have a lot of options that they can try throwing at him, whether that's James Johnson, who I think has the size and has the foot speed to potentially not give him fits or anything, but he can hold his own, I'd say. Ben Simmons will still get his. And then you got Justice Winslow. Whenever they like to go small, they play him at the 5. So maybe you put him on Simmons. We'll see. But overall, I don't know how they're going to really slow him down. So that's one thing to definitely watch is if they can't slow him down at all, then Sixers are going to have themselves an easy time. But if they do have somebody that can kind of hinder him a little bit, all right, maybe the series is going to be a little bit more competitive than we think.
Go, Dave.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and even if they get someone to come in like guard Simmons to the point of the depth we have, take out Simmons, bring in a fresh Fultz, he's just as difficult to guard in many ways. Obviously, Fultz's shot isn't where it needs to be yet, but all other aspects of his game, he's just so quick and so explosive. Last night, that play where he initially missed a shot, forget who grabbed the rebound, went back in, and Bucks were inbounding the ball, and boom, Fultz swipes in, picks it off, lays it right back up. There's one thing he knows that he's missing the shot in his game now, he's making up for it. It's like almost if you are missing a sense, like if you're deaf or you're blind, all of your other senses become more powerful and prominent. I think that's what's kind of happening to Fultz right now. All other aspects of his game are improving to kind of make up for this shot not being there yet. So that's going to be very difficult for the Heat, even if they figure out how to guard squad A. Once that squad B comes in, oh shit, now what? Because they have the rest of their starters. They're older than us. They don't have the depth that we have. So I think that's what's ultimately going to prove to be very difficult for them. And any team that we face in the playoffs, for that matter.
Yeah, we're definitely really deep, Dave. And I think we have to get Whiteside in foul trouble real early. So I'd like Simmons to be really aggressive, uber aggressive, go to the hole. If they can't have anybody stop him, he can get to the 10 at will, no problem. So I think the key to us being successful, even though we don't have Embiid there, is to take out Whiteside because he's going to be able to do damage on the other end on us because I don't think Amir Johnson is going to be able to cover him. He's not as big. I mean, Whiteside's huge. He's got huge wingspan. He's a beast. So if we can able to get him out, he's their best shot blocker, and we can just do work. The same with Fultz. He's been so aggressive on the offensive end, being able to take it to the 10 too, and that spin move is just vicious. And he's playing with so much confidence. And getting that triple-double, being the youngest player to get a triple-double, you have to build off of that too, which he will.
Yeah. And I think – what's that, Dave?
Well, do you think they would put Ben Simmons on Whiteside? Ben Simmons is 6'11". You know, like, do you think that's crossed your mind?
maybe that's something that they would try if Amir Johnson's like just getting overwhelmed. I haven't thought of that, but I guess it's a possibility.
Because you look at him, like, you got most centers in the NBA are like 6'11", maybe 7 foot. Dude, Ben Simmons is 6'11", and I think it's time to start experimenting with him when Embiid's not on the floor, situation like that, and it's not working out. Why not see if Simmons could guard a guy?
Not a bad idea. I mean, I haven't thought of that, so that's a good one. Yeah.
And he's heavier than both our centers, too, I think. I think he's definitely bulkier than Amir Johnson and definitely Rashawn Holmes, too. They're not going to be able
to – more athletic as well.
Yeah.
Although Rashawn Holmes is athletic. I don't understand. Like, you look at Holmes, you think he'd be a better defender. And he's improved. But the main reason that he loses minutes to Amir is kind of his immaturity on defense. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Rashawn Holmes is pretty good at scoring the ball. When he gets his opportunity, he's very explosive. He has a lot of offensive boards. But I think the main reason why Brett Brown hasn't played him as much is defensively. Wouldn't call him a liability, but he's not where he needs to be yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the two most underrated acquisitions have really, really solidified this bench, and that's Marco Bellinelli and Ersan Ilyasova. So, obviously, I mean, not the greatest players in the world, but you look at what they can do and how they fit in. They fit in perfectly because – before they came to town, you had J.J. Redick and maybe Robert Covington. Those were your shooters. But now, with Ben Simmons' drive and kick ability, now you've got a lot of options. You got Ersan, you got Bellinelli, you got Redick, and now you got Covington. So you got 4 guys that can help space the floor. So I think that's where they've come in and really helped solidify the rotation off the bench. So now you got that scoring punch that you were lacking all season long.
Yeah,
man. I love to talk shit on Colangelo, but I've got to give the guy credit when credit's due. He's done a phenomenal job with those signings.
Yeah,
they definitely are not on this win streak. They're not in the 3 seed. They're probably the 6, 7, maybe 8 seed. It was a pretty tight race. Had they not picked up Ersan was itching to get back there all year, I think. That was a genius signing. Him and Embiid, again, their plus minus when they're on the court together was better than anyone else's in the league as a duo. Yeah. And then Bellinelli was just bonus. And then you add addition on Colangelo Brown on J.J. Redick, which was genius. And even Amir Johnson is proving to be a great signing because he's been filling in pretty fantastically for Embiid. He stepped up over the past couple weeks. So, yeah, man, Colangelo has done a great job putting in those little pieces to kind of put them over the edge and take them from mediocre to – right now, the Sixers are a great basketball team right now. There's no argument about that.
Yeah, when Sarge went out, we had Ilyasova step right in. If we didn't have him, who was going to really play that spot? He can stretch the floor. He plays great post defense, and the man can take a charge. He knows where to be in the right place at the right time. And that's something that's not going to show up in the stats sheet is those taking those charges. But that was an awful thing when we had to get rid of him, when we traded him to the Hawks. But I'm glad they were able to buy him out and get him back here because he does solidify the bench. You have, like Adrian said, and I'm just repeating basically what you guys just said. You're able to stretch the floor with these other guys. And Bellinelli throws up some crap. I hate his shot selection, but it goes in. I don't know how.
He is hot.
He's on fire. Everything's going in. I mean, that one where he was falling out of bounds like 30 feet. And he banks it, and it goes in. I'm like, this guy, he's got to have a heat check. He's not missing at all.
Yeah. I forget what game it was. I remember looking at I didn't watch it, but I looked at the box score, and I saw the stat line. It was something like 7 for 8, something ridiculous for free. 7 for 8, 8 for 9. Whatever it was, he only missed 1, and he took a ton of attempts. I was just like, I had to look back, check it twice to see if it was real. Yes, that was great. And then back to the Ersan signing. Colangelo pulled a little kind of like a Hinkie-esque looking into the future move. I really think he had plans to re-sign him all along, but they did it in a smart way where it didn't mess up their cap going into this season and got him for less. So props to Colangelo for having that long view.
Good job, Colangelo. You did something right. You did something right.
You know what's funny? He went on a 97.5 this morning and came out the class. It's just like now he's coming out. He was talk to people when shit was going bad, but now he's starting to look like a genius, and now he's coming out, which kind of irks me, but at the same time, whatever, man. If you're a Sixers fan right now and you're mad about something, you're just nitpicky. 16 wins in a row, 52 wins, 3 seed. I kept repeating this. I'm going to keep repeating it because it's beautiful and all is amazing right now, and nothing can bring us down.
Man, yeah, he would, he'd throw the collar up. He'd hide in there like a turtle, and all of a sudden he's out. Yeah. He was supposed to be the anti-Hickey. He was supposed to do interviews every single week.
Keeping out the snake hole, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, typical Colangelo, man. Typical Colangelo. All right, so let's get predictions for the series. How many games are the Sixers going to win in? Yeah, I said it. We're all gonna say that they're going to win. I would assume. I'm going to say 6 games. I'm just going to play this on the conservative side, I guess, because without Embiid, I'm not sure when he's going to come back. I think maybe the Heat can get 2 out of this, but I think the Sixers will definitely win the series. So I'll say 6 games.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say it was going to be 4-2. We're going to win 4-2.
Okay.
I'm going with 5. I'm saying Sixers for 5 just because the way I look at it, I can't see any scenario where we lose the first 2 games at home.
Yeah.
And I think with it in Miami, by the time we go to Miami, I feel like Embiid will be back and come back. Game 5 is at home. Again, we're not going to lose at home. So that's why I'm saying Sixers for 5. But I wouldn't be surprised if it gets stretched to 7 just due to the experience that the Heat have, Wayne Wade's experience, and the coaching of Spoelstra. Anything could happen, but with the way we've been playing, man, I'm just riding with it. I'm thinking
that's why I'm like being a little bit conservative. I'm like, well, I even though they're on this 16-game winning streak, there is a little bit of all right, how are they going to come out now since it's their first playoff series? I mean, Ben Simmons' first playoff series, Markelle Fultz, Embiid when he comes back. A lot of inexperience. And then you look at the Miami side, and there's a lot more experience. So I'm interested to see how they come out. I think they're going to be fine, though. I would think so. I mean, talent trumps experience at the end of the day.
And that's where those vets come in that have been there before to bring these young guys up and show them how to take care of business. Marco Bellinelli won a championship with San Antonio Spurs. So bringing him here, Irson's had playoff experience. JJ Redick. Now, he got hurt, but I think they were being conservative and letting him rest to save him for the playoffs. I think he's going to be okay. But, oh, crap.
What happened, Kyle?
Sorry, the thing just went boom. It went black. Sorry.
It went boom. It went
boom.
Go ahead. You had your boom goes to dynamite.
That's leadership there, but I think they figured they didn't need him last night. And I'm hoping he's going to be okay because he's a huge piece that we need. He's a lot of scoring. I think our best 3-point shooter. And we got to bring him back next year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would.
Is he going to take less money? Is he going to come off the bench? But if not bringing JJ here, dude, I don't know if we're here. Even if you did bring in your son and Marco Bellinelli.
I was actually having a conversation with my Sixers ticket rep today about JJ Redick. And it was funny you mentioned that. So he obviously, the deal he took today, like we were the only team that was ever going to give him that money. We had the cap space. The way I look at it is I think they sat down with him and said, look, man, we're going to give you $23 million this year. Obviously, you're not getting that anywhere else. Start out with a 1-year deal. If you don't like it here, we can bounce. But if everything works out, we just do a new contract. And obviously – it's going to be significantly less money. However, it's almost like we gave him like a big contract and it was front loaded and then to pay him off in the back just for cap purposes. So I truly do think there's no way we don't resign him. He's going to want to stay here. Think about where he's played. He's played in Orlando. He's played for the LA Clippers and
the Bucks.
The Bucks. He played in like Orlando. They don't give a fuck about basketball. The Clippers, man. They've been in this. They were going to second round in the playoffs, and the Lakers would have like 20 wins, and the Lakers' attendance would be still triple of the Clippers. So he loves being appreciated. I think he loves being here. He could shoot as much as he wants. I'd say he's definitely going to take significantly less this year because no other team's going to match that. He's happy. He wants to stay. I say he's back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the next question now is, how far are the Sixers actually going to go? So let's pencil it in. Are they going conference finals? They going semifinals? Or are they going all the way to the NBA finals?
I think it depends how the rest of the playoffs fall out. And we need the Bucks to upset Boston, I think, so we can get home court. That just help us and better us out a little bit more. But I say we face the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. And it's going to be a tough match because it's LeBron, you know? He's going to put that into a second gear. Even though they're fourth seed, it's going to be a tough matchup against Indiana. They're still going to get there.
Yeah, so I'm going to go – let's just assume I think they're definitely going to beat Miami. Again, Miami in 5.
Yeah.
Second round, if the Bucks pull it off against the Celtics, which is an incredibly realistic possibility. I mean, at the end of the day, they have the best player on the floor with Giannis. So that could easily be an upset. And then if we get the Bucks with home court, I say we definitely beat them too. But even if we get the Celtics, man, I think we beat the Celtics in 6. Them not having Kyrie is so huge, and we match up well against them. I still think we would be any scenario. I still am confident that we get past that. And in conference finals, anything could happen. This Cavs team they're crumbling into these playoffs right now. They are not playing well at all. Now, however, LeBron could very easily take it up that notch and just play the best basketball of his life and solely lead them there. And if we end up facing the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't think we beat them. I feel like if LeBron could find a way to get there, I think we lose to the Cavs in 6. So my honest prediction for this playoffs, I think we get the Eastern Conference Finals and lose to the Cavs in 6. Game 6 would be in Cleveland because we're a higher seed. So that's what I think is going to happen.
That's exactly what I got. I got going to the conference finals, losing to the Cavaliers in 6 games. I got this gut feeling that LeBron's just going to kind of turn it on in the playoffs. I mean, they've been playing better at the end of the season, even though they had that game against the Sixers where they're down by 30. Obviously made that huge comeback. Defense has gotten better. The defense is still parting like the Red Sea. So that's like the hope for the Sixers. And I think that out of all the teams in the East, I do think the Sixers probably match up best with Cleveland. Mm-hmm. But I have a hard time believing that we're going to go and beat LeBron 4 times out of 7 tries. It's going to be tough. It's definitely not the same Cleveland team, but I think it's asking a little bit much. I mean, this is the first year of the playoff process now. So I think this is where the inexperience might come into play. I don't think it comes into play here. I don't think it comes into play. I do think they will play Boston. I think they will beat Boston. But when it comes to the conference finals, I think that's where they lose. But you know what, man? I mean, before the 16-game winning streak, I think most people would have been happy if the Sixers would have just won 1 playoff series. I think a lot of people would have been content with that. But since they've gone on this torrid stretch, and because the Eagles won a Super Bowl, and because Villanova won it all, everyone's just like, all right, everybody's in Philadelphia's winning right now. So who the hell knows what's going to happen?
Year of the cheesesteak.
Yeah.
But two quick points here. So one, want to hear my prediction for after we lose to the Cavs in 6?
Sure.
LeBron gets swept by either James Harden or Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
And then after playing 3 games in Philly in the conference finals, he says, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
So we lose to the Cavs in 6. Cavs get swept in the finals. LeBron signs with the Sixers. We win 3 or 4 in a row.
Don't tell Kyle that. Kyle doesn't want LeBron coming to Philly.
I don't want LeBron here.
But then, quick point number 2, though. Let's look at the opposite end of the spectrum because anything can happen. Say we even lose to the Heat in the first round. There's no way you could be upset with this season.
No.
They have obviously it'd be a little disappointing, but they have overachieved beyond belief. I didn't even think they'd get 50 wins next year. I thought they were 2 years away from 50 wins. The 3 seed, and the way they got the 3 seed, to beat LeBron on Saturday and coming out the way they did to do that, unbelievable. So, and then, who knows? With the streak we're on, we might get the number 1 pick. Well, what is it? I think is it with the Lakers? There's a small chance that
I think it's 2.9% chance we get the top pick.
Yeah. Well, if the NBA lottery is rigged, they'll give us the top 3 pick. Well, actually, it would have to be number 1. Shit, because Boston gets 2 through 5.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the simulation theory. Elon Musk talks about it a lot. How we're all just living in the simulation. Like time travel has been mastered, and basically we're being controlled by people in the future, and we're just all living in like a very, very advanced video game. So if we get the number 1, I'm already thinking Sam Hinkie might be controlling our simulation right now. if we win, if we get to the finals this year, and then still like get the number 1 overall pick, I would say there's a 120% chance that Sam Hinkie has mastered time travel and is now in control of the simulation in which we all exist. Because that would be my only explanation.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
Oh man. All right. Next thing, I guess we'll just bring this just really quick up. Rookie of the year. First of all, Donovan Mitchell is an idiot, and he doesn't even know the definition of rookie. All right, and Dictionary.com has a Twitter account, and it was funny because they played the hell out of Donovan. Do you need the definition of playing too? That was hilarious. So Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons. I mean, Ben Simmons, clear-cut rookie of the year, right?
Yeah, definitely. He just far exceeds. Donovan Mitchell is. Yeah, he throws up a lot of points, but Ben affects the game in so many more ways. With his defense, with the way he can distribute the ball, the way he rebounds, he just overall makes his team better. Plus, he doesn't take a half as many shots that Donovan Mitchell does. I think Donovan Mitchell averages about 6 shots more than Ben Simmons does. So he's more effective with less shots. And he's just a hater, that's all. Him wearing and throwing shade at Ben Simmons for saying, well, he had the definition on that sweatshirt. And it was just like he contradicted himself.
It's not even the right definition. Like he's stupid. He's an idiot.
Yes, he literally was dumb for wearing that sweatshirt.
Yeah.
He just made himself look even more idiotic.
So he was definitely part of the Rick Pitino scandal and never went to class.
Yeah.
So I'm going to preface this with one. Donovan Mitchell is a jackass, and aside from his rookie year thing, I've hated this guy since beginning of the season when Embiid stuffed him and he got all butthurt and comes back from out of bounds and pushes Embiid in the back.
That was awesome.
From that point on, Donovan Mitchell's been irrelevant to me. Point number 2, rookie of the year. I could give 0 fucks about the rookie of the year. You want to know why? Rookie of the year, coach of the year, MVP, it's all a scam. Yeah. The only reason these players market themselves and they're campaigning for it now, it's because all of them have stipulations in their contract that they get paid more if they get these awards. You want to know the hoodie thing? This is all of them say Adidas on it. It's part of Adidas's marketing campaign. He's Adidas. Ben Simmons is Nike. Adidas obviously wants their player to win Rookie of the Year because they could go ahead and use that in their pitches. And again, to my point, the agents want it. So it's all a big scam, and all these fans, I'm looking 2,000 comments deep on some Facebook argument between some morons in Utah giving, he's not a rookie arguments. It's like, dude, you realize that you're in a fight right now just to get your 19-year-old little bitch-ass rookie paid more money? None of this matters. Allen Iverson won Rookie of the Year in 1996. Have you ever had an argument or a conversation with anybody in the history of life talking about Iverson's career and legacy? By the way, he got Rookie of the Year in 96. No. Coach of the Year. In 2001, we had Larry Brown, 6th Man of the Year, Aaron McKee, MVP, Allen Iverson. Does anyone talk about that? Unless you're from Philly, you're the only one that knows that. Everyone knows about Kobe and Shaq winning their 3rd championship in a row. That's what matters, championships. You think Sean McVay, the Rams coach, or Tom Brady is sitting there bragging about how they won MVP and Coach of the Year, even though Peterson and Wentz should have won MVP Coach of the Year? No. Everyone's talking about the Eagles winning the fucking Super Bowl. Fuck these arguments. I'm so over these individual player awards. Like, it's a scam, and the arguments are stupid, and all that matters is championships. All I care about is the ring.
Dave, can you do me a favor? Me a favor? Can you take your mic and drop it?
I don't have a mic. I'll drop my phone.
I can't even follow that. That was awesome. That was good stuff. And he 100% correct there. That's great stuff. All right. One other thing that I want to bring up, because Dave brought it up to me pre-show, and he also made a really good point with this. So the new Philly Unite logo, and I'll just let Dave take this one away too. So because you said it perfectly, I'm not going to try and steal your thunder. So go ahead.
This logo right here. All right. When they initially rolled this out, I said, "Is this a joke? It's a snake." Obviously, the whole entire fan base, Colangelo's nickname is a snake. I was like, "Are they insane?" But then I looked more into it and I thought more about it, and I think it has a lot of symbolism to it. So that chopped up snake in history, it's a symbol to something Ben Franklin, a pamphlet he put out. The symbolism is join or die, unite, back to the Revolutionary War. This was a kind of a divided nation, Sixers fans, you could look upon them as kind of a divided fan base. I would go ahead and say maybe 60% of current Sixers fans have been on board with this process day one, hinky apologists, down with the process, trusting it. And then the other maybe 40%, mostly the older fan base, has been anti-hinky, throwing shit at it from day one. Even to this day, about 2 hours ago, Howard Eskin was on the radio still talking shit on the process. The way I look at this logo is you got the snake and you got the bell. The Liberty Bell, it represents the pro-process people, the trusters, the people that had hope throughout this whole thing. The snake, Colangelo, and the entire base that's been anti-hanky this entire time. I got the snake. It's chopped up. It's around the bell. It symbolizes we need to come together now, unite as a fan base. We're all one. No matter how we got here, we have 52 wins and we're a 3 seed. And now we need to come together, unite, join or die, because we're about to embark on a war. And the only way we're going to win that war is if we're all in this together. So it's genius by the Sixers. Whether they intended that or not, that's the way everyone should look at it in my eyes.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. The fact that you could put that together, awesome. Kyle, you got anything about that?
No, that I did hear about it when I was down at the game last night, that they did take that because it was the 13 colonies. I think he used it to symbolize it after. And you're right. It is. And I see Howard Eskin as like, the king of England over there stomping his feet on how he hates the young kid, the processor. He talks shit on them all the time. And it really, grind my gears when he said the other day that he predicted that this team would win 52 games at the beginning of the season. And I think that's a bunch of crap because he's been nothing but a hinky hater and everything. And you don't hear about all these people. I mean, Adrian, you remember, and I'm sure you did too, Dave, that everybody was against the process, mostly. Everybody hated it. They didn't want Embiid. There was this, there was that. Why are we losing, blah, blah, blah. But now everybody's on the train, of course. Winning brings everything together. But you're right. I couldn't agree more, Dave. That's an awesome outlook for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work for them. I would get on the phones, and any person I would talk to basically over the age of 40 was this so – and this is back like 2 years ago. We were 1-30, so it was looking pretty bleak. So there's a lot of people – recently people have jumped on board, and I'm not one to say no. Like, again, come on board. If it took this on, jump ship, whatever, come on. I know me personally, it's going to feel – maybe if we win a championship and I'll be sitting in my seat up there and witnessing it, I will probably feel more emotional than when the Eagles won it, just because everything that's led up to it, all the way back to Henke being hired, to them taking – they didn't hire Brett Brown until after the summer league that year, and just all the pain and the blood and sweat and the tears that have gone into this whole thing, it just makes it so much more worth it to be able to just tell everyone, hey, I told you so, this worked, trusted it from day one. So it's going to feel very sweet, probably sweeter than any other championship. Obviously, the Eagles, and it's like they're above all, but the Eagles just kind of like happened. Like no one really knew it was coming. With this, there was a process. It was trusted, and now we're seeing the benefits.
Yeah.
And I feel for you guys because I saw what you guys went through, too. Trying to sell those tickets, it was close to impossible. It was like Oprah. It's like, you get a car, you get free tickets, you get a free package. I mean, they were trying to do anything and everything to get people in the seats. So it's got to be very rewarding for you to witness that.
There was a 2 or 3 year period of time where if you paid to go to a Sixers game, you were just an idiot. Because you could have just kind of messed with the ticket rep and got in and acted like you were going to buy season tickets. And then like if you played your cards right, you probably could have hit up like 5 games for free a year. Just like that. But now, though, it's completely different. Like the people that did get on board early, they're sold out, man. And the way – if you got in like 2-3 years ago, you're not completely absolved from a potential increase in the future. But if you see what they're going to raise them up to next year for new newcomers, it is a joke. And
Well, they're redoing the center too, so ticket prices are going to go up even more. They're doing renovations to it, so ticket prices are going to skyrocket even more.
Yeah,
they are business people. They're good at making money. But again, to the point, the people that trust and got in from day one, those are the ones that are benefiting the most.
Yeah. All right, we're at the end now. So anybody got final thoughts, and then we'll depart?
I got pretty much everything off my chest. I just want the Bucks to beat the Celtics because I'm greedy and I want to have more home games. So please upset them. I want to have home court advantage all throughout the playoffs. Let's get this done all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. We got to get it. So let's go, Giannis.
In my hand right now, I'm looking at a ticket to Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Even though this very likely is invalid, the fact that I'm holding this right now gives me crazy chills. And the fact that that might even be an option is ridiculous. So trust the process, man. Robert Covington's face on a Game 7 NBA Finals ticket is as process as it gets.
Absolutely.
As process as it gets. Dude from mid-Tennessee State or whatever college you went to, undrafted by Henke, comes into the league. He was on a team for all the losing years, gets extended as a starter, has a contributing role. If I go to this Game 7 and it happens and I get to swipe that Robert Covington ticket, man, that's going to be the best feeling of my entire life.
I'm going to frame that whole coupon book right there if this all happens. Framing all those coupons, the coupon tickets.
Hell yeah. All right, so the last thing I'm going to say, I'm going to close with giving Brett Brown some credit and shining a light on him. Because a lot of times these NBA teams, they like to play isolation ball. There's not a lot of ball movement. It's not like college. Well, the Sixers, they are first in passes per possession and second in player movement. And that's all because of Brett Brown and bringing this game over from San Antonio. This is the first time that we've really, really seen them look like the San Antonio Spurs when they won the NBA title. So I want to give Brett Brown some credit. This team is humming. They love playing together. They move the basketball, and it's a beautiful product to watch on the floor. So credit to Brett Brown. Fuck all the haters, all the people that were ready to give up on him after 10 games. Brett Brown is looking like a genius right now. So go Sixers. We'll see what they do in the playoffs. For Dave Roszinski, Kyle Gaffner, I am Adrian Fedke. We're out. Enjoy the playoffs.